it as a possible hoax.
It's a scenario many of us have faced when heading to Miami Beach. Parking in an illegal spot just for a few minutes can end with your car getting towed and costing you hundreds of dollars, and that's no fun, of course. But what you may not know is those same tow trucks could be putting you in danger, even if it's not your car getting the hook. Tonight, Team 6 investigator Ari Odzer shows us these towing troubles.
Tow trucks are ubiquitous in Miami Beach, and so are people complaining about them, like these tourists from New York.
$247.
So you paid $247 to get your car back even though you paid for parking?
Yes, even though we paid the $100 for the parking lot or whatever valet parking spot that we had.
You've probably heard similar complaints, maybe even heard horror stories about cars being damaged because they've been going around for years. But you probably didn't know some tow trucks in Miami Beach have been putting you and everyone else on the road in danger.
No safety chains, no straps, just gravity.
How you doing, sir? Just a quick question. How come you didn't use any safety chains on this tow?
I was just swinging it across the street because I got to hook it up from the front. I'm going to be putting them on right now.
That driver towed a car across the crowded Lincoln Road pedestrian mall and across busy 17th Street with no safety restraints on the vehicle. And that was not an isolated incident.
Miami-Dade County requires for every vehicle that is in tow to be properly secured with the use of safety chains. This is alarming. This is something that should not be happening.
George Herrera is Miami-Dade County's enforcement supervisor for consumer protection. We caught up to him and showed him video of more than a dozen examples of tow trucks failing to use any safety restraints as they tow vehicles in Miami Beach.
The danger in not using safety chains is if the vehicle comes loose in any way, shape, or form, that vehicle is basically on a free-for-all on the streets.
The Team 6 investigators saw unrestrained tows happening in Miami Beach at all hours, on weekdays and weekends, all done by two companies that have exclusive rights to work the city, Tremont Towing and Beach Towing, which are located next door to each other. City Manager Jimmy Morales watched our video.
Obviously, that creates a situation that puts people in danger.
No question about it. I mean, the rules are in place for a reason, and that they're not following them is a problem. It creates a safety hazard. You always want to fix a problem before it becomes a problem.
That guy there has no chain.
That's why George Herrera's team enforces the rules. This tow truck driver, who does not work in Miami Beach, got a $500 citation in Pinecrest for not using safety chains.
It's my negligence, so I deserve to get the citation.
Do you think that could be a safety hazard?
That is a safety hazard.
You know, it's a procedure that takes a few minutes, but it could save lives.
Without the chains and straps, a towed car can bounce away. Ramon Crego is vice president of the Professional Wrecker Operators of Florida. He staged this demonstration, but points out the truck's only going about 20 miles an hour on smooth pavement when he slams on the brakes.
You imagine going 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, and then suddenly someone cuts you off, and you have to swerve and lock your brakes. That car goes this way, and you go this way.
The Team 6 investigators saw unsecured vehicles going considerably faster on Alton Road, which is pockmarked these days by construction potholes. The Miami-Dade County ordinance simply states it shall be unlawful to tow without the use of safety chains. So why do we see it being ignored time after time? Miami Beach City Commissioner Ed Tobin is a frequent critic of the towing industry. We showed him our video too.
I think there's probably a profit motive. It seems pretty crystal that you want to do it in a hurry, because if the owner comes, you got to just charge him a drop fee. You lose 2/3 of your money.
And there's plenty of money to be made. According to the city and the police department, in the last fiscal year, Tremont and Beach Towing made a combined $3.3 million in Miami Beach from all tows, which means those called for by the parking department and private non-consent towing jobs. The companies charge an average of $245 per tow, and the city makes $28 every time a vehicle is towed away. It begs the question, could police be ignoring the violations intentionally?
Police officers are not looking the other way so that somebody could make money. There's no way.
Police Chief Ray Martinez, through a spokesman, declined to talk to us, but in an email, Sergeant Bobby Hernandez wrote that the chief says officers that observe tow truck drivers that are not in compliance should be stopped and cited. That brings us back to this guy.
Getting some change on it as well.
Even after we confronted him and he said he'd attached the required safety chains, he still drove away without putting them on the car.
There really is no reason why not to use safety chains other than wanting to pick up a vehicle, go on to another call quickly.
We asked both Beach Towing and Tremont Towing to talk to us about this issue. They both referred us to the same attorney, Rafael Andrade, who told us neither company would have any comment for our story. The city manager told us there's no record of any vehicle actually falling off a tow truck's wheel lift and causing damage to anyone or anything.
The fact that it hasn't happened yet, we're lucky. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do our best to try to prevent it from happening.
In Miami Beach, Ari Odzer, NBC6, South Florida.
And it doesn't end there. Tomorrow night, we're going to bring you part 2 of our investigation to see what changes have now been made.
Okay, now here's a look at what's coming up next.
Well, in weather, we're going to talk about the weather.